Well, the Penguin finished its last episode yesterday. Today is November 11th, so November 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern. I think it dropped, and the finale was crazy. Amazing show. It's definitely gonna win some stuff. It just came out of nowhere, really. It makes me really badly want to see the next Batman with what's his name, Edward Cullen. So I'm very much looking forward to that, which I think is going to launch in like 2026. I'm gonna put a bit of a spoilers over here. So just FYI, leave now if you haven't watched the end of the show. But yeah, it was insane. I don't even like the dynamic between him and his mother is crazy. Catherine, my wife and I, we finished the show yesterday together. She is like hooked. She was hooked the whole season, and she just kept wanting more and more and more because she was very invested in the characters. They did like a really good job of making you want to see like how the character's life turns out and like what's real, what's not real. At the end, when the Penguin is sitting on top of his like penthouse looking at the city with his mother in the stretcher, and she has a tear like run down her side, he's like, "We made it, Ma." And my wife said he's punishing her, like he's keeping her alive in order to punish her for I think it for like not saying he's the greatest and stuff like that, and just like, you know, saying she knew all the time that like he had killed the brothers. And so I thought to myself, I don't know, they had that talk earlier where it's like, Oz, you know, promise me that if I'm in a vegetative state you'll pull the plug, promise me. And he's like, Ma, I can't do that. And then it's like, promise me, Oswald. And he's like, all right, Ma, fine. And like, yeah, he obviously he's not doing that. I don't think he's punishing her. If I'm being if I'm being honest, I think he just like, you know, I think he uses her as the reason to do everything that he does, because it's all for her at the end of the day, and like having her around reminds him of what he didn't have, which makes him like want to push for more and more. It's so weird at the end when he's dancing and the girl has his side piece has his mother's dress on. Like, that's just wild. I hate so much that he killed Vic that I'm so curious to see what Batman does to him. Like, and the fact that Sophia didn't die, like he didn't put a bullet in her head, but that actually was big brain, because he used her as a token to gamble with the senator. In order for them to like rise up in the ranks in the Senate, I guess. Wow. I also wonder like what the production value of the show was, because I think like this is a show that just did well because of good acting. I don't imagine there was like an obscene amount of money put into it, but I could be wrong. The costume was sick, but I don't know if they paid a lot for it. I think it was just makeup and design, like really invested in their job, and they're just like, we're gonna knock it out of the park, which they did, which is crazy. The suit looks so good. There are a few things that I'm like, one thing that I didn't understand was like when he was sitting down in the club with his mother, and there was like the cloth in his mouth, like he was like gagging on it so that like he couldn't speak. Couldn't he have just spit that out? Like when he was like, "Oh, don't touch my mom!" Like you couldn't hear him because he was stuffed with a towel in his mouth, because they were gagging him, but like so that he couldn't talk. Whereas the mother had tape over her mouth and she had her hands tied behind her back, so like that made sense. And like Oswald's hands were tied behind his back, but like there was nothing stopping him from spitting the cloth out of his mouth. That seemed like a huge oversight to me. That bugged me. That was just my OCD. But yeah, wow, what a good show. Definitely like an 8.5 out of 10, 9 out of 10. It's if you guys haven't seen this show, I will say this. I don't know why, but it felt a little bit slow at the beginning. But I think that was my fault. I think the reason why it felt slow is because I started watching it, and then I decided to like watch it with my wife starting episode 2. And so at that time I had to like explain to her as we were going, which I don't think was a problem, but I don't know. It felt slow. I'm wondering if it felt slow for others. Like maybe the second episode felt a little slow, but yeah, like good job. I hope they make another season. I don't know. I probably should have looked before I did this video to see if they're making another season. And the next Batman is honestly going to be sick. Like, it's going to be wild. I can't wait to see what happens. Maybe they'll launch a season 2 before the next Batman to hype it up that much more. Definitely worth the watch. Let me know what you guys thought about the show, anything that I may have missed. I'm curious what other people are thinking. And also, in case you're wondering, because I was curious as well, I didn't know this, my wife had to tell me because she found it on Reddit, the half sister of Sophia, when she gets that letter at the end of the episode and it's like, hi, I'm your half sister, that's Catwoman apparently. So I think you all knew that, but I didn't know that, so I'm telling you all now. Spoilers. But yeah, like that's crazy. I can't wait to see what the next season is like. I hope they make a nice next season. And now Catherine and I have to rewatch the Robert Pattinson Batman because she never watched it, so I'm excited for that. Anyways, great show. Definitely watch it if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.